Hello, welcome back to Fires Gaming. My name is Ben, and today we're going to continue on with Suzerain 2.0. So, last time out, we managed to get our form bill passed with a historic result, which was pretty sweet. Then we entered into kind of like a provisional alliance, I guess, with PFJP, and then had a really awkward encounter with Tarkin Soul in the men's room. So that was a thing. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, there's a ton of reports here, a bunch of newspapers. So let's just start with whatever this is. Alright, from Arvery, Gasson Branch opening boosts local economy. The opening of new Gasson Branch in Arvery has provided a substantial boost to the local economy. The branch has brought new employment opportunities and promises a stable energy supply, enhancing the city's growth prospects and improving the quality of life for residents. Cool. Let's see, from Narbel, Gasson Branch growth boosts local economy. It's literally the exact same thing, so I'm not going to read it. I mean, I guess the wording is slightly different. Like the last one was, this positive development is anticipated to augment Narbel's growth potential and elevate the standard of living for its residents. But that's essentially the exact same note. Alright, from Agnolia. Agnolia warns against Fogslandian threat to the seas. Yesterday, Prime Minister Martin Van Horten made a statement denouncing Fogsland's activities in the Marquine Sea. Fogsland's military activities only strengthen our resolve to defend what is rightfully ours, and we will do so alone if we have to, boldly exclaimed the Prime Minister. That could be trouble. Alright, from the Nurist Republic of Durdia, whatever that is. Durdia extends blessings on Dissension Day. Supreme Wise Man, okay. Yorga Osmal? Let's go with that. Has issued a special address on the sacred day of dissension, sending blessings to the global Nurse community, including those in Swordland. He encouraged all to reflect on the teachings of Nerdy, and specifically Saint Ruick, and to uphold its principles in their daily lives. In a veiled reference to recent tensions, he appealed for reaching Golconda and mutual servitude to God among all nations, irrespective of their beliefs. Whatever any of that means, but cool, I guess. Alright. From Deer, Golconda's threat against Dastnerists. I don't know. Governor Braun has issued a warning to the residents of Berja, urging them to remain vigilant against the threat of Golcondist extremists and potential violence targeting the Dastnerist community. The governor expressed concerns about rising tensions between the two Nerist groups, specifically highlighting the threat the Golcondism poses for the region. Braun emphasized the importance of maintaining peace and harmony within the special zone and called upon the residents to report any suspicious activities or individuals to the authorities. The governor assured that necessary measures will be taken to ensure the safety and security of all residents, regardless of their religious beliefs. That's nice. I don't think he's going to do that. Felix Braun is definitely an asshole. Alright. From the ATO. ATO's IEC uncovers energy resources in Polaris. The ATO's International Expedition Command has established a groundbreaking presence in Polaris, uncovering a wealth of untapped energy resources. These resources, showing promise of sustainability and high yield, have sparked global interest and paved the way for further explorations in the polar region. A scientific achievement, the discovery is said to be a potential game-changer in the energy sector. During the expedition, the team also encountered indigenous communities that have remained untouched by modern civilization. As they are brought into contact with the outside world for the first time, the ATO now faces the delicate task of respecting their cultural integrity while enabling their integration into the global community. It's a fine balance to strike between advancing scientific exploration and ensuring the welfare of these unique communities. I'm not really sure you need to integrate them into the global community, but whatever, I suppose. Alright, from the CSP. CSP sends Peace Armada to assist XEC. In a spirited demonstration of international solidarity, the CSP has dispatched a Peace Armada to assist the Shinan Economic Cooperation in combating piracy. The move has been warmly received by the XEC member nations, particularly Kinal, Zelina, Narushima, and Fenkau, and further strengthens cooperative ties between CSP and XEC. The Peace Armada, led by the flagship vessel Slovaria, comprises of a diverse fleet of destroyers, frigates, and support vessels. Their mission is not only to deter piracy, but also to provide humanitarian aid and bolster maritime security in the region. With this action, the CSP reaffirms its commitment to upholding international maritime security and extends its support to allies and strategic partners during times of crisis. It also showcases the CSP's dedication to fostering a secure and stable environment for international trade and commerce. Interesting, okay. And cool, back to the beginning here. Nice, okay. 8 reports, now we have 6 newspapers. So let's start with Whole Sword Post. Rain and Soul meet at Cherbuck screening. The recent exclusive screening of Alfred Cherbuck's new film, The Morning Shall Come, was attended by an unexpected guest, former President Tarkin Soul, rarely seen outside his home on Duru Island since his 1949 resignation. Current President Anton Rain was also in attendance, and the two men were seen together. And new law on the Sordish language vetoed. The Unified Language Act has been vetoed by President Rain after the approval of the Grand National Assembly by majority vote on Thursday following a 3-hour debate. Casaro Keebner, who campaigned heavily for the bill, criticized President Rain for his decision to veto the act, saying it contained much vital new rules that would have unified Sordish education and protected the integrity of Sordish language and identity. Or just been some more racist nonsense, but, that's okay. Alright, from The Economist, investment surge boosts Gazprom. Gazprom is experiencing a significant boom, buoyed by an influx of investments. This turn of events indicates a promising future for the company, which could have far-reaching implications for the Sordish economy and the energy sector. With fresh capital in hand, all eyes will be on Gazprom's next moves, now it plans to capitalize on this financial boost. Cool. Alright, Lockhaven Times. One film, 2 very special guests. An exclusive screening of Alfred Cherbuck's new film, The Morning Shall Come, made a splash, but not for the content of the period drama itself. Instead, the film was overshadowed by the 2 political figures in attendance, President Anton Rain, who made the trip from Whole Sword with his family, and former President Tarkin Soul, barely seen on the mainland since 1949. It is rumored the 2 of them spoke in the washroom following the film. And last up, 2 articles from The Radical here. Washroom Summit. What are Rain and Soul hiding? At a screening of Alfred Cherbuck's overblown sob story, The Morning Shall Come, President Anton Rain and former President Tarkin Soul were seen exiting the men's room together. While an illicit assignation is not out of the question, it is far more likely the 2 inveterate politicians are making backroom deals about which the Sordish public, as usual, will be kept in the dark. The Radical is committed to getting to the bottom of this meeting and will keep readers updated as the facts emerge. Or, more likely, it was the end of a very long movie and 2 dudes just, needed to take a leak. That seems like a far more plausible explanation, but, whatever, it's okay. The Radical is, radical. They're kind of off the rocker. Anyway, Rain vetoes racist language bill. It's the least he could have done. Anton Rain struck down a proposal from the NFP's Casaro Keebner that would have made Sordish the only language allowed in this country's educational institutions, with rare individual exceptions to be granted by the Ministry of Education. Presented as a measure to promote integration and unity, the bill is a slap in the face of Sorden's British population and other non-Sordish speakers, not to mention outright denial of the diversity that makes the country what it is. Keebner must not be happy about this, but we are. Cool. Alright, so let's head to Deer here for the ceremonial duty for the Day of Dissension. This weird religious ceremony thing. Alright, so, morning haze surrounded the city of Deer as the sun dawned on the Day of Dissension. The holiest day of the nerdy religion, it celebrated the first message received from God by St. Dast and his 30 disciples. As per tradition, the celebration was held inside the Arch Sanctuary of Dastnerity, closed to the public eye. This year, however, for the first time ever, it was going to be televised. That was Lucien's idea, as he saw it, granting the people a rare glimpse of the grand ceremony and showing them how serious their president took this holy event would ease any tensions that lingered in the region. And so we arrived at the largest cathedral in Sordland. A huge crowd gathered around our convoy as our car pulled up to the entrance.
This will work out well, trust me, sir. Of course, it's only if the prayers done completely correctly. Please don't forget the order. First, you'll need to grasp the holy scepter with your left hand, and then touch the altar with your right. Kneel before the archpriest, and wait for him to put the sword on your shoulder. Then touch the sword with the hand you touch the altar with. Hand the scepter over to the archpriest, and receive the sword before passing it on to a disciple. Pretty straightforward, isn't it?
No, that was confusing and stupid as hell. Alright, let's see. So let's see if I remember this. Scepter, left, altar, right. Kneel, wait for a sword, then touch it with your right hand, hand it to the archpriest. Now hand a scepter to the archpriest. Take a sword and give it to the disciple. Dude, I didn't understand a single word you said.
Just do your best to remember it. We can't afford to lose our religious base over this. You don't have to go first. I will come inside later and we will meet up after your part is done. Good luck, sir.
I exited the car and I was greeted by a chorus of cheers and camera flashes. I waved to the people as I made my way to the grand gates. The arch sanctuary was a sight to see. With its towering visage, it cast a shadow over a large portion of the city. I had to crane my neck to see the narrow spires at the top. Just standing next to it made me feel awe and dread in equal measure. As I reached the gates, I spotted my welcoming committee. The archpriest and his disciples were waiting for my arrival. At my approach, they all bowed their heads in respect. The archpriest gave me an infectious smile as he straightened back up. Tall and handsome in his mid-50s, he's one of the youngest and most popular archpriests in history. Some of his more avid followers even likened him to Saint Dast. Mr. President, praise God, it is a blessing to see you on our most holy day again. Welcome, welcome. Archpriest? The crowd was still cheering loudly. The archpriest turned and raised both of his hands, and everyone immediately fell silent. Oh, great people of Swordland, once again we are gathered here to honor the Day of Dissension. I am indescribably happy to be sharing this moment with you, as well as every blood and sword, old and young, tuning into the television to watch this holy commemoration. Along with the lead of our great nation, I say, let the holy day begin. Stay far from evil, O sons and daughters, for evil hides itself under many disguises. Disguises such as blasphemy, apostasy, and even alcohol. Be good, my children, praise God, praise Swordland. He smiled beatifically at as the crowd burst into rapturous applause. After it subsided, he turned to me. Shall we move inside for your confession? I mean, if we're trying to, milk this thing, let's do this. I pulled the archpriest aside for a photo. Many flashbulbs burned my eyes at the same time. I heard whistles, claps, and cheers from the crowd. Most excellent. He led me through the main hall, which had a stratospheric ceiling and nurse icons lining the walls. We walked up a creaking spiral staircase to the top floor and finally arrived in front of the confession chamber. Right this way. He gestured towards a chair in the dark room. The room smelled of old mahogany and scented candles. The archpriest proceeded to light each and every one of the candles, one for each virtue and vice. I'll be right with you. He left the room. A minute later, I heard the sound of a sliding window right next to me. He spoke with a very soft voice. Anton Rain, speak and confess now before the one God, and may he repent your sins on the most holy day of dissension. I mean, theoretically this dude shouldn't be allowed to tell anything, so I'm just gonna go with the smartass answer. I think I did this last time too. I confess that I'm not sure what I'm doing for Swordland is enough. You do carry a heavy burden on your shoulders. What you've confessed is not a sin, but you may share your burden with me if you like. I still don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Absolute certainty only belongs to God. All else feels uncertainty many times in their lives. This is especially true for men of power. Anything else you'd like to confess? Yeah, nah, I'm good. Before God, I thank you for sharing. You are now forgiven before God, Anton Rain. May you never sin again. The sliding window closed, and the archpriest entered the confession chamber. For the confession, then, you must extinguish the candles representing each of your virtues and vices. With this, the once burning sins connected to you are now smoke and then nothing. That's not weird at all, but okay, I'll extinguish the candles. One by one, I extinguished the candles. Well done, Mr. President. Let's move on to my quarters before the ceremony. He led me through the 1,000-year-old corridors to his office. The smell of dust and old tomes was in the air, along with the scent of burning incense being prepared for the ceremony. Well then, please have a seat. The wooden chair next to him looked like it might turn to dust at a single touch. I sat down gingerly. It was surprisingly sturdy. Are you ready for the ceremony? Yes, let's get on with it. Patience is a virtue, Mr. President. He leaned back in his chair comfortably. I wanted to give you something, a gift to celebrate this special day. He pulled out a large rectangular box from his desk drawer. The box is lined with gold and expensive gemstones. Because of course it is. A beautiful sight, isn't it? He opened the box and showed me what was inside. It was a dagger. The handle looked like it was made of pure gold and had a very large gem at the end. On the blade, the words were inscribed Vector and Sista. Your victory is close. On the other side, another set of words, King Egmont. This dagger belonged to King Egmont. It is a very important artifact of the Kingdom of Sword and Arrow. It is now yours, Mr. President. Thank you. It's an honor. Think of the past and think of who we are. Traditions are what brought us to this point. Now then, it should be right about time. A couple of knocks were heard on the door, and a young boy came in. He bowed before the archpriest, then me, before letting us know that the ceremony was about to begin. We made our way downstairs, where the ceremony was already in progress. The choir sang angelically as the archpriest took his position beside the altar. When they finished their hymn, an expectant silence fell over the room. It is time for my part. I started my walk, bowed, and approached the altar. Let's see. It was scepter left and altar right. I grabbed the scepter with my left hand, then touched the altar with my right. And then, let's see, we gotta kneel. Scepter in hand, I knelt before the archpriest. The archpriest laid the sword on my shoulder. And then, let's see, touch the sword with our right hand, I think. I touched the sword with my right hand. And then we give the scepter to the priest, because we give the sword to the other dudes. I handed the scepter to the archpriest and waited for him to give me the sword. The archpriest handed me the sword. And then we give the sword to the other dude. So I passed the sword to a disciple. I got up and proceeded to my designated spot next to Lucien. He leaned over and whispered in my ear.
Compared to last year, that went surprisingly well, sir.
My eyes met the archpriest, and he very slightly nodded. The ceremony went on for another hour and a half. Holy cow, that's disgustingly long. Finally, the noon bells chimed, marking the end of the cathedral service. We left the cathedral to greet the waiting crowd. As I stepped outside, I heard everyone cheering and chanting my name. Lucien's gambit seemed to have been a success. We waved proudly for a minute or two.
See, sir, I told you it would work.
We entered our cars and drove back to our suites in Deer. Hopefully to never have to do that again. That just sounds so awful. Jeez. Alright, anyway, let's see. We have a report from this nearest place. Oh, okay, I guess this is different. So, Dirtian Blessings for Sword Dissension Ritual. Supreme Wise Man. I can't stop laughing at that. That's such a stupid name. Anyway, Supreme Wise Man Yorga Osmal has expressed his deep appreciation for President Anton Rain's successful conduct of the Day of Dissension rituals. He congratulated the President on his performance and sent blessings on behalf of the Nearest Republic of Dirtia. Asmal's congratulatory message highlighted the potential for religious diplomacy in fostering stronger relations between our countries. However, he expressed hope that this religious goodwill could translate into improved political and social conditions for all Nurists, but specifically Golcondists in Swordland. So many weird religious things. I don't even know what any of it means, but that's okay. Anyway, let's head back to Sword... Whoops, there's a newspaper though. Let's read that first. From the Lockhaven Times, the President attends the Day of Dissension. As part of the grand ceremony, the Day of Dissension has begun with festivities in Deer. President Rain was in attendance along with His Holiness, the Archbishop, who together performed the sacred ritual. The momentous occasion was celebrated by everyone, regardless of their rank and status. Swordland has once again felt unity amidst chaos to come together, forget their differences, and celebrate the Word of God. Cool. Alright. Let's see, it said the whole sword here. Let's see, let's do dinner first. No real reason, it just sounds good. I arrived home from work, hung my jacket up, and put my briefcase in the hall. I paused, awaiting my usual greetings from my wife and daughter. Diana was out at one of her after-school art classes, I remembered, but where was Monica? From the living room, I heard a muffled sob. I entered to find Monica sitting on the sofa, letter in her hands, and a look of despair on her face. Darling, what's wrong? Monica briefly rested her head on my shoulder, then handed me the letter. It's from the Department of Education. Frank's university exam results are in. He failed, didn't he? Just read the letter. I looked at the page. Below Frank's name and address, his score was written 435 points out of a total of 1,000. Wow, he didn't just fail, he catastrophically failed. That is fantastic. I'm not sure how you even managed to do that bad. At the bottom of the letter, the word failed was stamped in red. No kidding. All of those years of effort, all his private lessons, all down the drain. Maybe it'll be good for him to learn from his mistakes. This isn't just about Funk, you know. Him failing would reflect badly on you, on us. I just don't understand. Funk's a smart boy. Why did he sabotage himself like this? I heard a key turning in the front door. Frank stomped in and was about to go straight upstairs when we noticed us both in the living room. Mom, Dad, what's going on? Have a seat, Frank. He took a seat across from us, and I handed the letter. He started reading it. Shit. Is that all you have to say? I need a moment. He went to the kitchen sink and washed his face. A moment later, he came back. I never thought this would happen. I'm so sorry. And it's not the end of the world. Pretty close, though, isn't it? Frank looked close to tears. Monica put her hand on his shoulder. It's gonna be okay, but you really should have studied harder, Frank. Yeah, I know. So what am I supposed to do now? Well, there's always military school, but you're the president's son. You still have options. Yes. Monica surprised me with her enthusiasm. If Alfonso could his dimwit son into Kingsley University, I'm sure Holsworth State would have room for a bright boy like Frank. Yeah, I'm not taking life lessons from Alfonso. Holsworth State University would be amazing. Which of my friends are going there? I could still come home and do my laundry. But I failed the exam. This sucks. Are you sure about all of this? Isn't it technically illegal? Nah. I mean, yeah, it probably is. No, I won't influence your life. You've got to live with what you've done. I understand principles are important, but Anton, which is more important, your principles or your son's future? I mean, my son's future, of course. Then I believe you make the right choice. Nah, he's going to military school. Yeah, alright, Dad. Serves me right for not studying. Frank ran upstairs to his room. I'm going upstairs after him. Leave him be. He needs time. I suppose I need some time as well. Monica left the living room, and I started reading newspapers before dinner. Cool. I know that's probably a bit of a dick move, but at the same time, I'm trying to not be super corrupt here. And I'm pretty sure using my connections to get him into a college is definitely going to count as corrupt, so let's not do that. Alright, let's see. We got 2 new reports, another newspaper, then we head back for that briefing or whatever it was. Alright, so from Narbel, new school completed. Narbel celebrated the opening of its new secondary school, a 2-story building with 50 classrooms and state-of-the-art teaching equipment. The school is funded as part of the government initiative to improve rural access to education. Coolio. And ATO expressed concern over drug trafficking in Central Maricopa. The ATO has issued a vehement condemnation of the drug trafficking activities in Central Maricopa. The illicit trade is said to span several regions, including Colorado, Erdmark, Valen, and is particularly concentrated in Agard. A growing concern for the international community, Agard, under the rule of narco lord Severo Rios, has earned an infamous reputation as a major hub of the narcotics trade. Rios, however, maintains his intentions are to regulate and legitimize the drug trade rather than exploiting it illegally. Surprisingly, he has even expressed interest in acquiring ATO observer status in an attempt to engage more openly with the international community and alleviate concerns. Nevertheless, the ATO's concerns revolve around not just the law and order aspect, but also the destabilizing socioeconomic impact of this activity. Drug trafficking has boosted the shadow economy, bred corruption, and fueled violence in these regions. The ATO insists on a robust international effort to counter these activities, despite the ambitious and somewhat controversial propositions from Rios. Interesting. Alright. And then, let's see. Got a paper here from the Lockhaven Times on the Ashraf anniversary. Watani Ashraf, hero to some, enemy to others. He is for sure one of the most controversial figures to have ever lived in our country. As his anniversary is approaching, there is one question that is shared in everyone's minds. What will the administration do? Every year, people gather in Urzen to hold a vigil and a solemn anniversary of his death. They light their candles in his memory and hold cultural festivals. And what is different this year, however, are the claims that the Bluish movement will be holding their largest rally yet in Urzen during the anniversary. Perhaps it is time for the administration to let bygones be bygones and take a step back to display the unity of Sorlin to the people who very much need it. Cool. Alright, so let's fly back across here to Holsor for the briefing on the diplomatic strategy. Coolio. The doors to the White Room, like everything else in the Moon Palace's main nerve center, were painted white. I took a deep breath before pushing them open. Time for yet another meeting. At least this time it is with people who liked me. Really? Joseph Lancy is right there, bro. The attendees rose up from their seats.
Mr. President.
Joseph nodded. He and Lucien sat down while David remained standing. Yeah, now that you're here, let's talk about diplomatic strategy. David cleared his throat. Mr. President, if I may, I'd like to provide you with a short overview of where we are right now. Alright, go ahead. We have successfully passed trade deals with both Vela and Agnolia, which means we've increased our presence in those regions. These deals are important pieces of leverage and significant first steps into the global arena. We must now look towards the future. Go on. David sat down, pulled out a few papers, and started going through them as he kept talking. Vela and Agnolia practice runs. We must begin improving our relationship with greater nations. We need to elevate our international standing, especially with the threat of lumber looming. Yosef cleared his throat.
Mr. President, you know me. I don't trust the helping hands on the countries offer us, for good reason. But I also know those helping hands are necessary, and right now we need all the help we can get. I have said this over and over, but I would repeat it until you get it through your skull. Rumberg will come, sooner or later. And with the current state of our military, if the Rumberg invasion happens, Solden will cease to exist. We need allies.
We ought to heed General Lancy's advice, Mr. President. I trust your assessment, Yosef.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Military perspective is important, but these deals are about more than just gaining allies. We also need to consider the benefits to our economy such deals will provide. We may be close to ending the recession, yes, but why not go a step further?
Agreed. David took a seat and brought out 2 stacks of documents.
At the start of our term, I had a comprehensive trade deal plan laid out. Following the visits to Vale and Agnolia, we are to pursue potential trade deals with 2 greater nations. Falkland is one of them. If we can manage to get them to the table, there's much more potential here than in Vale or Agnolia. Because they're one of the most important countries in CSP, a deal with Falkland is a ticket to bring Swordland closer to the United Cantonan Sphere.
We should do whatever we can to get them on our side.
I agree. Falkland is certainly powerful enough to deter Rumberg.
Moving on to Lesbia. Our southern neighbor is rather sore over our decision to accept financial aid from United Cantana, allowing ships to dock our naval base in return. Granting those docking rights essentially gave United Cantana a foothold in eastern Marcopa. It's no wonder ATL felt threatened by this move. In any case, deal won't be happening with Lesbia, that's for sure.
Good. We'll never make a deal with the country in the ATO.
Yeah, as you wish. That's it for the overview. That's the actual contents of the trade deal. Lucien?
Lucien pulled out a small notebook and quickly flipped through the pages until he landed on the right one.
Looking at my stats here, we now have a small tungsten surplus,
which makes an excellent resource for trade. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I need to know your decision before we can proceed. What should we do?
Before you say anything, remember what I said. We need allies, not just a trade deal. If Romark attacks, we will fall.
I mean, yeah, obviously, begin negotiations with Falkland. Excellent news. I'll begin at once. That was all I have for today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yosef saluted as we left the White Room. Yeah, I mean, we definitely need to make the trade deal to help us get out of the recession a little bit. But on top of that, yeah, we definitely need to not keep pissing off Yosef, you know? I think I've pushed him about as far as I possibly can before he leads a coup, so let's try to avoid that. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, we've got another report and a couple more papers, so let's check those out here real quick. Yeah, looks like there's 2 reports. So, from Laren, healthcare quality improved. Reports from hospitals and clinics in Laren indicate a significant rise in the quality of healthcare since additional funding was channeled into rural areas. Mortality rates appear to be decreasing, while patients are reporting a higher level of trust in physicians and medical facilities. Fantastic. And from Valen Trade Report. The trade deal struck with Valen continues to bear fruit as Burgess sees an upward trend in agricultural exports. Manufacturing industries are also celebrating the decreased production costs that have resulted from the uptick in importation of Isaac oil in the aftermath of the Operation Bear Trap. Cool. And we got a couple of newspapers here. First up from the Wholesale Post, isolated polio cases seen in Berja. Several villages in Berja have been safely placed under quarantine after a few polio cases were diagnosed in the region. The outbreak is largely confined to Valen, and there is little chance of further infections occurring in Sordland. Even if there was, the disease's most notorious symptom, paralysis, is only seen in a minute percentage of cases, and there is no need to alter the source way of life, as Health Minister Pascal Benningwell suggested with his vaccination program in order to prevent its spread. I mean, yeah, sure, it's maybe a minute percentage, but that's still way too many people, so we're definitely going to do the vaccination program, like always. And then, yeah, more polio things here from the Lockhaven Times. Concerning use from Berger, several cases of polio have been recently diagnosed in the region. The outbreak, thought to have originated across the border in Valen, is currently confined to just a few villages, which are now under strict quarantine. However, Health Minister Pascal Benningwell has called for swift action, including countrywide vaccination, to prevent the number of cases from multiplying. We concur that this disease, which is known to cause paralysis in severe cases, is a serious threat and must be contained at all costs. And Geopolitico, Rain to visit Volgsen for trade deal. President Rain is scheduled to visit to Volgsen in order to discuss a possible trade deal with General Secretary Emmerich Hagel. Exactly what will be on the table is unclear. Hagel has been known to want Sordland's aid in retaking the island of Helluland, currently under Agnolian control, but Rain would risk international ire for interfering in this decades-long dispute. An alliance between the two countries is also not out of the question. What is clear is that this visit will bring Sordland closer to alignment with United Cantana. There we go. Fantastic. Alright. Let's see. Alright, so all we have left now is dinner with Justice Isabel. But, honestly, I think I'm going to go ahead and save that for next time. Yeah, it feels like as good a place as any to go and stop. So, yeah. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.